Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do a top 5, bottom 5 for luxury and expensive makeup. Obviously that means different things to different people, but I'm going to stick to brands that I feel are either luxury or high-end and ones that just I think are pretty expensive. And so we're going to talk about ones that I feel like are really worth the money, are really fantastic, and I would buy them again if I ran out, and then ones that I feel like are just not worth the money. Some of them I feel like are actually bad. Some of them I feel like are just okay. And just for the price, I don't feel like they're worth it. So I'll explain all of that. I saw Samantha March do this video pretty recently, and I just felt like, ooh, I really like that idea. I want to see what I have in my collection that I feel like is really worth it and what's really not, because I definitely have a lot of favorites that are high end and that I do feel like are really, really worth it. But then I have some that are not. I don't have as many that are not, just because honestly, if I get a product that I feel like is, certainly if it's bad, but even if it's just okay, I very often will return it because it is expensive. I feel like, well, if it's not good, then I shouldn't have to have paid for it. So I'm gonna return it. In fact, one of the things that I have in the bottom category is just a sample. So there you go, but let's just get into it. So let's talk about the bottom 5 first, because then we can end this video on a happy note, a good note. Again, you know, these are not necessarily like terrible products that I'm going to talk about, but to me, they don't feel like they're worth the money. And if some of those products are your absolute favorites, then please don't take it personally. Everyone has different tastes, and you know, maybe some of the things that I talk about that I absolutely love, you may just think are not worth it at all. So we all have our own opinions, and that is okay. All right, so the first one is one that I really am trying very hard to use up because it wasn't one that I could return, and that's the BECCA Hydra Mist powder. I've talked about this in a few different videos. So first of all, and you can see, I mean, there's not a whole lot left in there. I mean, I've at least gone through half of it, although I don't think there was that much product in here to begin with, because the whole thing about this powder, before I get into what I don't like about it, is it was like 50% water or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was what it was. And so when you would put this powder on your face, it would feel really cooling and like wet, but it wouldn't mess up your makeup and it would set your makeup. Now, when I got it, I thought that was really cool and it felt super nice, but I realized pretty quickly that it just was like any other powder, except it was more expensive because you really got less product, not to mention that it said it had a 6-month shelf life because of that water. So I'm like, I need to use this up. I can't like just let it sit around, you know, like any other powder. But I just felt like it was just okay. It wasn't a bad powder and it worked fine, but it wasn't anything extra special. It was more just like this gimmick of feeling this cooling sensation all over your face. But then this is the bigger issue that I have with it and why I really don't think that it is worth the price. I think probably like 2 months into it, that may be generous to say 2 months. I don't remember exactly how much time it was, but I don't even think I've had the 6 months at this point. But it didn't feel cooling anymore. Like the water just evaporated. And I've heard this from a lot of other people that they've had the same experience. So I know it's not just me. I didn't keep it open. I put it into my drawer. I made sure it was closed nice and tight. So I don't know what the deal is there, but I certainly did not have it 6 months. And, you know, if it had been like, you know, if by month 7 or even month 6, that happened, then I would say, well, okay, it did say 6 months on there. I mean, very often products last longer than what they say, but I would have said that was fair. But that was well before, I mean, not even halfway through the amount of time that it said that it's supposed to last. So very disappointing. So it's not like it's unusable, and I want to get my money's worth of it because, you know, by the time it like lost that feeling of the cooling, I couldn't return it anymore. So that's kind of frustrating. Yeah, I just definitely disappointing because, I mean, it did feel nice. Again, I didn't really think it was totally worth it before that happened, but now I really am very, very disappointed in it. The next one, it's a very expensive item, and it's the only one that I have of its kind. And actually, I think the only thing I have from this brand, and I'm going to say what it is, but then there's going to be a but, okay? And before I show it to you, I actually didn't even buy this. I had like a credit and I used that as an opportunity to get it because it's so expensive that I was like, well, I have a credit, so I'm not actually paying for it. I don't remember why I had the credit, but anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so it's the Tom Ford lipstick. I have the one in the shade Spanish Pink. All right. I mean, first of all, like for this to be worth it, it would have to be like absolutely ridiculously amazing because these, I think at the time when I got this, it was $50. Again, I didn't pay for it. I had a credit. Now I think they're either 52, 54, like they weren't expensive enough to begin with. So my but is, I don't know that I've experienced really a good Tom Ford lipstick because I have heard that the matte formula, in particular, Stephanie Nicole talks about the one that's in Flame, that's like the matte one, that she says is just the most perfect, amazing lipstick she's ever worn, and she doesn't even wear those type of colors. It's like a bright orangey red. So I think that I just picked a bad one. Now, first of all, it smells like, it doesn't smell great. Like, I mean, not that I need it to smell good, but like I'd rather it just not smell like anything. It just smells sort of like makeup-y, you know, I don't know. That's the only way I can explain it. It's a pretty color. It's like just a nudie pink, okay? So it's pretty. But this is my issue. I mean, first of all, like I said, it would just, for the price, it has to be like really impressive. But for me, I don't think this looks great on me. And I think the biggest reason for that is because, you know, it's very creamy, and I had a similar experience with the, and I could have put this one in that category too. I'm not talking about this one, but I could put this in this is maybe an honorable mention, okay? This is the YSL Rouge Volupte in 13, which is a really pretty, and this smells good. This I like the smell of. Much more like peachy. That's the YSL one. And this one's even more creamy. But the issue that I have with these, and I feel like I can make the YSL one work better, which is why I didn't include it in this one. With this one, I feel like it shows all the lines in my lips. I do have very liney lips. You know, I'm only 31, but I still feel like I just have a lot of lines in my lips. And most people have some lines, you know, and unless they're really, really young or they've had filler. I mean, that is just the way it is. But I do feel like mine are particularly raisiny. And so this just does not look very flattering on me. I cannot wear this by itself. I have to either pair it with a lip liner, and really, I'm better off putting a lip gloss on top because it just is not flattering on me. And for the price, I feel like I should be able to wear it by itself, you know? Like, it just does not look good on me. Maybe I would have done better with a darker color. Again, maybe it was just this formula that I'm not a fan of. I don't know, like, what formula this is. It's just, I guess, the regular cream formula. So I would be willing to give them another shot with a different formula of the lipsticks. I've also heard good things about, like, the Shine ones. I would need to get them on sale though because they're expensive, but this one just did not work out well for me, and it's just a shame because this is expensive. While we're on the topic of lip products, I have a lip gloss, and this is a lip gloss that is in my 2018 project pan. So once the year is over, which it almost is, this is just going to be tossed because it's pretty much done anyway. Spoiler alert. It's pretty much done anyway, but I don't even think I'm finishing this because I just do not reach for it because I don't love it. This is the NARS lip gloss in Turkish Delight, and I've had other lip glosses from them too, and they are not horrible lip glosses. They really are not. This one is like a, you know, a very pale pink, which is just not typically like a color that I go for, so that's part of the reason why, like, this isn't my favorite. I had also had one in the shade Super Orgasm. People loved the one Chelsea Girls. That's it right there. You know, it's just an okay lip gloss. So that's, I think, the biggest thing, you know, and it's an expensive, like, high-end lip gloss. So I feel like it, you know, it's just not worth it for that price. And I have tons of other lip glosses that I love way more. Even the Fenty ones, which are my absolute favorite, are like $10 less than this or something. And I think those are way, way, way better. I mean, there's the ColourPop ones, the Bite Beauty ones, like all of those are less expensive than this. And I just think that it's okay. The other thing that really bugs me for the price of this is that it always like leaks like an oily substance from the side. whether I store it like this, whether it's on its side, whatever, it doesn't matter. It just like leaks. And that's why you see, like, I don't know if you can tell, it's like dusty because it's like collecting that like oily something. And for the price, I'm sorry, that should just not happen. Then this is another one that's probably going to be somewhat controversial. So let me just preface this by saying this is not a bad product. It's one that I actually enjoy. I really do like, but I just don't really find that it's worth it. And for the price, I just don't feel like it's worth it, okay? This is the Coverfx Custom Enhancer Drops. I have mine in the shade Sunlight, which, you know, I will take credit. This was not really like the best shade choice on my part. This is really a little too dark for me. It's very, you know, tan. And for me, it works better like mixed in with my foundation, which I will tell you, I like doing because, let me just show you that right there, that shade. It's very, very pretty. But yeah, it's just a little bit too dark for me. I mean, look at me. But I do like mixing this in with my foundation. And I find that it's not too dark when I do that. And one of the things that I do like about this is that unlike a lot of other liquid illuminizers, highlighters, that type of thing, I don't feel like this one makes my foundation too dewy and shiny. You know, a lot of them do that. And this one I don't feel like does that because it dries down so nicely. I say nicely, but when I'm actually trying to apply it as like an actual highlighter, which I don't do often because again, it's kind of dark, but it just dries down way too quickly. Like I have to work so quickly one side of my face. Like I don't know how people get this to work because it just dries so fast on me that I end up looking crazy. I tried the bronzer, like the matte bronzer that they had. I think it was maybe like suntan or something like that, which they don't have it anymore. Some people love that product. I loved the color of it, but it just dried so fast on me. So I really don't like that. The other thing is, I mean, these are so intense and they're expensive. And, you know, you get a lot of product, which is great, but like it says that it has a 12-month shelf life. Again, it probably lasts longer than that. But how would you ever use something like this up? Like you need so little of this that you're never going to get your money's worth. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, if you've used one of these things up and gotten your money's worth, you tell me, but I don't know how you ever would when you need so little of this. So those are the main reasons why I feel like this is not worth it. I think they're beautiful. They really, really are. But I just think there are so many other products like this now. I think when this came out, this was really like the it product, you know, of this kind. But now there's so many other ones and I feel like they're easier to work with and just a little more foolproof than this one. The last one is the one that I have a sample of. And I'm glad that I got a sample because I just don't really think that it's worth it. And I know that a lot of people will disagree with me on this one, okay? I know. But I know that there are a lot of people who will agree with me. So this is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. So I actually got a pretty decent sample of this. So if you're wanting to try this, you know, definitely ask them to give you a sample because they gave me one at Sephora. And I know that there are people who love this, so maybe you will love this too. For me, I feel like, okay, I really like the smell of it. It feels nice. It's like, for being like a sort of silicone-y type of like smoothing primer, it feels very like nice and cooling and smoothing. And I will give it this. It doesn't like get super dry like some of my smoothing primers do. And so I'm just not a huge fan of a lot of them because they do that. But this is the thing. It's not that this doesn't work at all. I just feel like for the price, it's not life-changing. For me anyway. Again, I've heard some people just rave about this and how it like really makes a difference. I've used this on one side and then on the other side tried something else. Like for example, another one that I feel like is just okay, the Urban Decay Optical Illusion, which, you know, is expensive, but less so than this one. I feel like this is the exact same thing. And I don't love this one either, but I mean, it's still, I don't know, like I've used one on one side, one on the other, and I felt like it was the exact same. Yes, they help fill my pores some, but I have to be really careful with the way that I apply my foundation on top, which can be a pain. And I just don't feel like for the price, it's really worth it. And this one, like, I don't know. I feel like that Urban Decay one is like the exact same thing and it's way less expensive. So if you're wanting to try this one, maybe try that one. Maybe get a sample of both and try them out. Again, I don't even love that one, but it's good. And so same thing with this one. It's good, but it wasn't life-changing for me. I keep trying it every so often thinking like, well, maybe I just like didn't use it right, or maybe like I'm not paying attention or like whatever, but I just don't feel like it's really doing a whole lot. I've also heard that it goes bad really quickly, which, you know, and like you can't go through the whole thing before it goes bad, and that's not cool. I mean, for the price, it's like $50 or something. I'm sorry, that's just not okay. All right, so on to a positive note, let's talk about the things that I do feel are worth the price and I love. The first one is sort of a cheat because they don't totally carry the same exact product anymore, but they just came out with a newer, better version. So I feel like that's sort of fair. They're the Makeup Forever lip liners, the Aqua Lip. Now they have a newer version. I haven't tried those. I've heard really good things about them though, so I'm sure that they're also amazing. I really do feel like these lip liners are worth it. I know not everyone is going to agree with me on that because there's so many great ones from the drugstore, but I'll tell you why I think these are worth it. So they're just a traditional like pencil lip liner that you sharpen, but I don't feel like these are dry because, you know, like a lot of times pencils can be a little bit drier than like the retractable ones. I don't mind sharpening. That really doesn't bother me. I feel like then I can get a really sharp edge if I want to, you know, to have that. But the thing about these lip liners that make them special and make them superior to some of the ones that I have from the drugstore, and I do love a lot of the ones that I have from the drugstore, these are really long wearing. These are like super long lasting. When I put this on, if I put it on all over my lips or put it, you know, and then something is, you know, on top of it, this will last. It really wears like, you know, like a liquid lipstick would, but it's not drying because it's like a lip liner. And so you can buy like a super pretty bold color and put it, you know, put it on and just wear it on its own, put a gloss on top, whatever. You know, if you want to have a lip that's going to last you, you know, and you want your, you know, lipstick on top, you want it to fade a little bit more gracefully, this is going to help with that. And it's going to, you know, still be there after you know, your lipstick has worn off or your lip gloss or whatever it is. And I just think that makes these so worth it. Like, if it wasn't for that, then I would say like, yeah, okay. I mean, they're great lip liners, but there's so many others that are amazing too. But if I want a lip liner to really, really last for me and I don't want to have nothing on my lips after I've had dinner or whatever, this is what I go for because they just are that special. Then I have a mascara, and this is a mascara that I have gone through time and time and time again, and I just think that it's such a fabulous mascara, and it is expensive, but I really love it. I think it is amazing, and it's the Chanel Volume de Chanel mascara. This one is in black. It is not, I think, well, it might be noir. I mean, it's black. Not the waterproof version. This is just the regular one. You know, it has a wand that I wouldn't typically go for. It's like a plasticky wand, but I just love this mascara. It makes my lashes look so voluminous and beautiful. If I really take the time to build it up, you know, it makes me look like I have false lashes on. It's amazing. And I really think that it's worth it, and I will continue to get it. And if I want my lashes to be like super boom, this is the one that I go for. Can it get out of control and get too clumpy? Sure. I think any volumizing mascara does, to be quite honest with you. I don't mind taking a comb and just combing through them. Like I said, if you take your time, then you're not gonna have that issue. And if you just, you know, comb through them if you need to, I mean, to me, that's not a big deal. If I'm just wearing this on a day where I wanna put something on pretty quickly and not spend that time, then I'm not gonna like put coats and coats and coats where I'm gonna have that clumping issue. So I only do that if I have the time and I wanna really build it up and make it super voluminous. And I just love this mascara, and I think it's just totally worth the price. So the next one, I'm like sort of cheating here, but we're just gonna pretend like it didn't happen. So the Hourglass powders. So I'm kind of putting them all in one category because I have two blushes here. I have a little mini bronzer, and I have one of their ambient lighting powders. So the first product that I fell in love with from them was the blushes. And the first one I ever got, and this is the one I've had for a very long time, this is Mood Exposure. These blushes are just absolutely beautiful. You know, you would swatch them and you'd think like, okay, whatever. You have to really put them on your face to see how beautiful and glowy and magical they are. And I love this shade. I just feel like it's such a beautiful color. I more recently got Dim Infusion, which is just such a beautiful shade. I love this one as well. You know, a little bit brighter of a shade. The bronzers, you know, it's more of like a glowy type of bronzer. You know, it's not a matte bronzer, but it looks so natural and, you know, it gives you a sheen as well as a bronze, but not in like a glittery, like sparkly way. And it's just absolutely fabulous. They do have a lot of their blushes and different powder products in minis, and they're tiny. So, you know, you may not be a fan of that, but it is a great way to try some of their products because they are very, very pricey, but I think that they are worth it. And then of course their ambient lighting powders. This is the one in the shade Dim Light. And I'll tell you, for a long time, I was like, I don't really think that this is worth it, and I wasn't pulling for it. And then I started to try this, you know, and I would just sort of buff it onto my skin after everything was on, and it just, these are finishing powders. They're really not meant to be setting powders. Some people use them as setting powders, particularly if they either have very dry skin or more mature skin. I have combo skin, so I wouldn't really use them in that way, but I use this as a finishing powder, and it just blurs everything. It makes everything just sort of look glowy, and like it melds everything together. And I just love using this as a last step if I remember to and if I have the time to, because I really think that it adds that like finishing touch, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. They have tons of different shades of these, and they have different purposes. So this one I just kind of buff all over my face, and they have some that, you know, are more meant to be like underneath the eyes and, you know, different things. So you'd have to kind of go and try them out and, you know, maybe ask for some help at Sephora to maybe see which one would be right for you. But I think that it's absolutely fabulous and totally worth the price. They're so finely milled and they're undetectable on the skin, and I think that they are 100% worth it. And then there's one that I have been talking about a lot recently, and I've been using it a ton, and it's just such a beautiful product. Definitely pricey, but so beautiful. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I have mine in the fair medium shade. They do have a darker one, and the packaging is not my favorite, but I also feel like I don't know how they could have like really improved this. And I didn't know for a while that you could actually like open and close this. So it actually can like twist. So if you have it off, which now I have it off, then you can't squeeze the product out. So if you open it, then you can, and it comes in through this sponge, and you just kind of like put a little bit, and it looks like it's gonna be kind of scary and intense and too dark, but oh my gosh, it blends out so beautifully. It just looks so natural for a contour. It's cool tone, but it's not too gray, and it's definitely not too much more of like a bronzer shade. It really does contour beautifully. I'll just show you kind of on my hand here. It's such a gorgeous shade. I think that it is like the perfect contour shade, and because it's like a liquid, it looks super natural, but it's so easy to blend out. It really, like, I feel like it's foolproof, and if I put too much, I can just like switch my sponge around and just kind of like blend it out a little bit more. I think this is so amazing, and you know, I don't know how much product really is in here. I mean, I do, but like, I don't know how long it will actually last, but I will repurchase this because I think it's so fantastic, and it's become my favorite contour product. And then the last one is one that I have definitely talked about before, and it's still an absolute favorite. I think it always will be. I am very close to being done with it, and I have another one sitting waiting for me because I bought it when it was on sale because I knew that I was gonna run out of this soon. But the crazy thing about this, okay, let me tell you what it is first. This is the Bobbi Brown corrector. I have mine in the shade Peach Bisque, so you can see how little I have left there. It's amazing that even though I keep thinking I'm gonna run out of this super soon, you need so little of this that I have had this for so long, and I still have not needed to use the new one that I bought. I remember hitting pan on this one back in February, okay? That's when I hit pan on it. So of course I had it long before then. So you think, you see this product and you're like, okay, that's almost $30. I don't remember exactly how much it is. I can put it on the screen. but it's definitely like close to $30. And you think like, that is so expensive. And yeah, it is. And, you know, I still think it's worth that price, but you know, that is expensive, but it lasts so long. And I use this almost every single day. But what I love about this product, so first of all, it, you know, corrects the blue tones underneath your eyes and, you know, sort of cancels them out, and they have different shades so you can get one that suits you. So it does that, but it's thin enough that I could wear it underneath something else if I wanted to. I could also wear it by itself. But the thing that I love the most about this is that this is a product that looks so natural, even though it's a corrector shade, that I can wear it on my face when I'm wearing no other makeup. I can just put this on, you know, if I wake up one day and I'm running out the door with my daughter and I look at myself in the mirror and I think, I look tired. I don't like the way that that looks. I don't look good. I pop a little bit of this just right in here and I look awake. But I don't look like I have anything on. It doesn't look like I have concealer on. It doesn't look like I have makeup on. It just brightens it up and it just cancels out those tones. It's amazing. I could also even take a little bit more of this and put it like, you know, around my nose or put it on a blemish. It's just such a versatile, amazing product that this is probably my top one out of everything that I've talked about in the top 5 because it's such a fantastic product. If you haven't tried it, I'm telling you, I think it's better than any other corrector that I've ever tried for all of those reasons. I love it, and I can't believe I haven't run out of it yet. It's kind of crazy. All right, everyone, so that is it for my top 5 and bottom 5 for luxury and high-end products. Let me know in the comments below if you've used any of these products that I talked about, whether you've had a good experience or a bad experience, and let me know if there are products that you feel like I didn't talk about that are either not worth the price, like at all, or definitely are that I should try. I would love to hear what you think. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.